Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we are going to unpack something that is incredibly relevant to, well, anyone who has ever applied for a job or anyone tasked with hiring for one. We're looking at a fascinating, fully automated smart recruitment system. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly happens the second you hit submit on your job application? Does an actual human read it right away? Does it just vanish into some corporate black hole? Well, today we are going to trace the exact step-by-step technical journey of a single resume. We'll follow it from the very moment of submission all the way through to an automated final decision. We're popping the hood on this workflow to see exactly how artificial intelligence evaluates candidates, organizes the data, and, most importantly, how this smart recruitment system works to send out the final results.
Here is our roadmap for the journey. We'll start with step 1, receiving the applications, and then move right into the AI analysis and evaluation. Step 3 is filtering and saving the data, followed by step 4, the evaluation crossroads. And finally, we will explore the two completely distinct outcomes, the acceptance path and the rejection path.
All right, let's dive into section 1, receiving job applications. This is exactly where the journey begins. The whole sequence kicks off with a custom form built on Tally. When an applicant uploads their CV and types in their details, a Tally trigger node activates. You can kind of think of this like a digital tripwire. Using a highly secure API key, this trigger instantly catches the submission and securely funnels that raw data straight into the next node, which is our AI agent. After that, an edit fields node, sometimes called a set node, steps in to perfectly format the output. It is a completely seamless handoff from the applicant right to the machine.
Moving on to section 2, AI analysis and evaluation. We are officially entering the brain of the operation.
Now, the absolutely crucial part here is how this AI agent is configured to process the text. It uses a specific system prompt, often powered by something like Gemini, that literally instructs the AI to act as an expert recruiter. But here's the catch. The system doesn't just want a vague general opinion. It demands hard, structured data. The AI has to output a numerical, extracted score, a text-based AI summary of the candidate's skills, and a custom response message tailored specifically to that applicant. And to make sure it's flawlessly accurate, especially if a dozen people apply at the exact same time, it uses a unique execution ID key for the session, along with a tight context window length of 10. Simply put, it only remembers a tiny, specific batch of data at any given time, guaranteeing it never mixes up your resume with someone else's.
That brings us to section 3, filtering and saving data. It's time to build the digital archive.
This step perfectly illustrates just how hyper-organized modern automation can be. Using a Google Sheets append row node, the system doesn't just dump a messy wall of text. Instead, it meticulously maps variables into perfect little columns. It logs the candidate's full name, email, job title, that all-important AI score, the AI notes, the application status, and a direct link to the CV. Boom! Instantly, HR has a beautifully formatted, completely searchable database that updates in real time.
Okay, section 4, the crossroads. Honestly, this is the absolute moment of truth for the resume.
The number 8 is the ultimate gatekeeper here. The if condition in the workflow is programmed with a ruthless rule. The applicant's AI-generated score must be equal to or greater than 8 to pass. If it's an 8, 9, or 10, the doors are wide open. But if it's a 7 or below, well, the journey takes a very different turn. This condition physically splits the workflow right down the middle into two distinct paths. The green line represents the success route for a score of 8 or above, and it is all about instant action. On the flip side, the gray line handles those scores below 8, and it's characterized by something pretty unique: delayed action. Let's look at section 5, the acceptance and instant alert path. We're riding the green line. For our high scorers, the very first thing that happens is a Gmail node gets triggered. The system instantly dispatches a beautifully formatted HTML email directly to the applicant. The subject line reads, "Welcome to our company." Because the AI already flagged them as a top-tier match, there is absolutely zero delay. The company is reaching out while the candidate is literally still sitting at their computer, providing an amazingly fast and responsive candidate experience. But the real brilliance of this system is that it's pulling off a dual action simultaneously. While the applicant is reading their welcome email, the hiring manager is getting pinged with a simultaneous alert via Telegram. Using the manager's specific chat ID, the system fires off a real-time warning loaded with the exact AI notes, the summary, and that high score. So, by the time the manager even checks their phone, they already have a fully briefed profile of a stellar candidate ready to go for an interview.
Which brings us to Section 6, the rejection and smart delay path. Let's explore the fate of the candidates on the gray line.
The timeline here is actually super fascinating. The candidate scores under an 8, right? But the system does not send a rejection immediately. Instead, a wait node purposefully pauses the entire workflow for exactly 2 hours. Why on earth would it do that? Well, it introduces a concept known as empathetic automation. Think about it. If you spend hours tweaking a resume, hit submit, and get a rejection email 3 seconds later, it feels incredibly cold. It's discouraging. By deliberately programming a 2-hour delay, the candidate feels like their application was at least given some proper human consideration before being declined. Once that 2-hour wait node completes its cycle, the final Gmail node is triggered. The applicant receives an email with a polite subject line saying, "We apologize for rejecting your job application." But here's the really clever part. The body of that email is not just some copy-paste generic template. It elegantly uses that specific custom AI response message we talked about back in Step 2. This means the rejection can actually include personalized constructive feedback based on their actual resume, making the whole experience feel just a little bit more human.
And that is the whole shebang. That's the smart recruitment workflow from start to finish. We've seen how the data is captured, how the AI ruthlessly grades a resume, how the green line instantly connects top talent with management, and how the gray line utilizes a wait node to soften the blow. It leaves us looking at this really fascinating dynamic between brutal machine efficiency and carefully coded human psychology. So I'll leave you with this final thought. As we continue to build more of these automated systems, does programming a literal human delay into our workflows genuinely make artificial intelligence feel more empathetic? Or is it all just a clever illusion? Really makes you wonder. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see